The Nintendo Switch. I have some fond memories of playing that thing back in the day. Wait a minute, the Switch is still out. I was getting it confused with Wii Music. The Switch. It's had a really good first couple of years, at least according to most fans, having some of the most exciting and acclaimed games in the past couple years. And it doesn't seem like it's stopping. 2019 is jam-packed with new games from Nintendo. If nothing gets delayed, which let's be honest is probably wishful thinking, we would be getting new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, the next main Pokemon game, Luigi's Mansion 3, Yoshi's Crafted World, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Animal Crossing Switch, that town game, and a ton of third-party support. Except not that last part. Sorry, I got your hopes up. But that's going to be a huge year. Even if a couple of those things get pushed back, that's still going to be a ton of stuff to play. But will it be the best year the Nintendo Switch has ever had? Hello all 598 of you, I'm Redkwan, and will 2019 be the Nintendo Switch's best year yet? To figure out this question, let's take a look at the first 2 years of the Switch. I'm going to start with 2018, and I know, this lack of chronological order is probably really annoying. But I want to start with 2008 because I think it's completely out of the running for best year for the Switch. I'm going to be honest, this year was pretty weak. Not only did we hardly get any games, but the games we've gotten have been pretty mediocre. What games would those be? Kirby Star Allies, an incredibly forgettable 2D platformer. Mario Tennis Aces, a pretty bare-bones and uninspired Mario sports game. An okay Mario Party, and another generic Pokemon game. Okay, I'll admit that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are the most different Pokemon games in a long time, but I'll also admit that that means basically nothing. They're all the same. We've gotten almost no big third-party games either. The best ones, as far as I can tell, are Undertale, Okami, Hollow Knight, and Octopath Traveler, but for one, those are all pretty old besides Octopath Traveler, which, as a 2D RPG, still doesn't appeal to a lot of the people who own a Switch. Nothing wrong with those games, but it's a pretty lame showing even when you compare it to what the Wii U was getting early on, especially because we got basically no traditional AAA stuff worthy of note. Everything else we got was either a Wii U port, which I don't really think fully counts, and of course we'll be getting Super Smash Bros. Smash Bros will almost certainly be really good, but it can't single-handedly make 2018 a great year. 2018 isn't really in the running, I don't think. Unlike 2018, I think 2017 is definitely in the running. 2017 was a really good year for the Nintendo Switch. We started it off with Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was reviewed really well, and was considered by a lot of people to be the best game of the year. It took Zelda in a new direction, and was able to capture people's attention for hundreds of hours. Admittedly, I don't think it's all that great, but it was generally pretty well accepted as a terrific game, so I'll give it credit. Super Mario Odyssey was praised much the same way. It certainly wasn't as new or exciting, and it didn't hold people for as long, but it was still a fantastic game, and also considered one of the best games of the year. Those two games alone made 2017 a pretty incredible year for the Switch. Even if no other games came out, it would have been pretty good. As it turns out, not many other games did come out, or at least that were really good. We got a few more ports, which again, don't really count for me, and then we got some big games with ARMS, Splatoon 2, Mario & Rabbids, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 2017 was also the best year for big third-party games that the Switch will probably ever have. ARMS was a really average game. It had solid gameplay, but was really repetitive, and it got pretty boring quickly for a full-priced game. Splatoon 2 was a good game, and a lot of people really like it, but at least personally, I don't feel it was anything special. Some people would say it was really good and should be a big plus for 2017, but I don't think it was interesting enough to add a whole lot to it. Mario & Rabbids, on the other hand, was pretty interesting. I think this is one of the games that people have forgotten about at this point, but it was a really fun game. It's not on the same level as Mario and Zelda, but it does give 2017 a little more behind it. The third-party stuff adds a little bit too, although not enough to make a huge difference, I don't think. Just because the third-party stuff isn't going to be bought by a lot of people, maybe that's bad reasoning, I don't know. And what about 2019, the upcoming year? We're going to be getting, as far as games go, a new Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Yoshi, Fire Emblem, and Town. Just by the sheer number, that sounds like an easy best year, but I'm not so sure. Yes, there are a lot of games coming, but I think a lot of them are more comparable to games like Mario & Rabbids and Splatoon 2, instead of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. I really don't think Luigi's Mansion, Yoshi, or even Pokemon will be very surprising or incredible, although I'm sure they'll all be solid games. The ones that are a little more up in the air for me in terms of what to expect are Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing, and Town. Fire Emblem might just be that I haven't played too much Fire Emblem, but the game seems to be more of an open 3D game, which seems new for the series. Maybe it won't end up being that much different, and I'd still be surprised if it ended up being spectacular, but I could see it possibly being a surprise success. Animal Crossing is a series that hasn't changed much in the past, but it's one that I think has a ton of potential. I think it's very possible Nintendo goes all out on the next Animal Crossing game and makes it pretty spectacular, but I'll admit that I'm not as confident about it as when I made the video on Animal Crossing Switch in April. Town, I also see as being a pretty good game, but probably nothing incredible. But we don't know a whole lot about it, so it's hard to judge it for sure. So 2019 is probably going to have more solid games than 2017, but I don't think it'll have any game that's as good or exciting as the two big hitters in 2017. I'm sure it'll still be a good year for the Switch, and I guess it's sort of up to what defines a good year for you, but I don't think 2019 will be quite as good as 2017. Having two games that are considered masterpieces in 1 year is something that basically never happens, and it had a few solid games in there too, and I don't think that even with the large number of good games coming next year, that it'll be able to top that. Maybe I'm wrong, I probably am, but I think that 2017 will remain the Switch's best year. Well, I'm Redkwan. How good do you think next year will be? I don't know what the general consensus on this is, and honestly there probably isn't one because I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel in the video ideas department, but I'm betting some people will probably end up disagreeing with me because that's what the internet is for. Anyways, I'm Redkwan, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.